I'm quitting Goodreads. All of 2025, I thought about doing this, and I kind of knew in the back of my mind it was my last year using it. The ability to wean off was actually fairly easy once I started it. I started using my physical trackers more, and then only really kind of just kept track of my star ratings instead of like socializing or putting reviews. I focused more on putting content on my channel. If I wanted to give a thought on something, I just slowly backed off. The reasons for me not wanting to use Goodreads are far and wide. I could start with my selfish dislike of the platform itself. The user interface is really shoddy and terrible, outdated and ugly. It doesn't have half stars. There's no nuance to it. You can review bomb really easily, as well as it having a lot of really convoluted, not user-friendly methods. However, there is a grander reason that overshadows all of those, and that's I hate Goodreads. I hate Amazon specifically. I hate what it stands for. I hate how it treats its authors. I hate how it treats its users. I hate how Amazon as a company functions within this world. I don't like how it moves. I don't like how it acts. I don't like how large it's gotten. I want away from it. A lot of 2026 for me is going to be stepping away from larger corporations that I don't believe in any way that I can. I don't believe in this point in time there is a way to live truly ethically without just living on a farm doing nothing. And even then, I don't think that's ethical, because then you're not contributing to society and you're not trying to do anything to better the world. You're being complicit in the violence that's taking place. Oh my god. I'm quitting Goodreads. It's the least I can do. I feel really good about it. I'm really excited about this platform I've been looking into, which I will be using alongside Storygraph. I tried to keep up on my Storygraph last year and it just wasn't hitting as hard, but I still really like a lot of things about Storygraph. So instead of using Goodreads, I will be using Pagebound, which is a platform I just found and really enjoy. This is not sponsored whatsoever. This is something I stumbled upon after watching this video that went into depth about a lot of different platforms to use instead of Goodreads. I looked into it. Pagebound did everything I wanted it to do, along with extra things I didn't know I wanted or needed or was missing from the experience of using a book tracking service. The only caveat I will say for Goodreads is that I will still be rating indie authors on Goodreads, because indie authors need as many platforms as possible to get themselves off the ground. So moving forward, I will not be deleting my Goodreads because I don't want to take away reviews and services from those authors, but I will no longer be using it outside of that. So I will put a star rating and then I will put a link to my Pagebound so that if people want to see reviews or more information about my thoughts and feelings, they will either be able to go to my YouTube channel or my Pagebound to follow me there. I know that as of right now, Goodreads is a behemoth. Authors are there because they need to be there. The more we are able to switch over, the easier it will be for authors to switch over. Luckily, most of these services have already integrated a lot of indie books, but if you are an indie author and you don't see your book there, or the title is wrong or the cover is wrong, I suggest putting a little effort into these other services so that you can be across multiple platforms, and slowly over time, tediously, we will dismantle the establishment. I'm also an Aquarius, if you didn't guess. I will go ahead and switch over to a screen recording to show you my screen and how I switched all of the books and all of the history of all of the books I read from Goodreads over to this new platform, and then I'll show you some of the ways I set it up, some of the user experience, the aesthetics of it, just why I feel so excited and renewed going into 2026 using this platform. You're also going to get sneak peeks into some of my 2026 planning, because this has so many options for organization and planning, and it's really pretty. So let's go. Okay, gonna Clark Kent you really quick and put some glasses on, so don't worry, it's still me. This is my Pagebound homepage. It has my username, pronouns, and everything. You can go ahead and go in and edit, put all this information. It has my taste and then what I'm currently reading. Right now, it's the first day of 2026, and I'm only working on doing revisions on my book, The Solstice Heir. So as of right now, it just says that I'm reading The Solstice Heir because that's true. That's the only thing I'm currently reading. But going back over to this page, just to give you the idea of the layout, we have activity, quests I'm going to get into in a second. These are really fun and exciting. Lists, which I'm currently only following lists. I don't have lists of my own. Then stats. Because this is a new platform for me, I don't have stats. As far as activity, it it has posts here. I will also show you what posts look like on mobile. Quests I will also show you on mobile. I'm in the medieval quest, the fantasy and sci-fi with a side of romance quest, and the cozy fantasy quest. If you go in here, we can see these are different quests so you can earn points. It says that I've joined the quest and I need to read 5 books to get bronze. There are 818 participants here. You can see all of the books you would need to read in order to get the gold, which is the 15 books, or to just get bronze or silver. Cozy fantasy I'm doing amazing on because I absolutely adore cozy fantasy. So I have 12 out of the 15 books needed to complete the quest. A lot of these quests will also have completionist options where you can complete all of the books on the list. You can also search for new quests, so discover new quests, popular quests, romance quests, fantasy quests, contemporary quests, thriller and horror, and you can search for more of them within each category. Books, you can discover books based off of a featured emoji of the day. The emoji thing is actually really fun on here. Most discussed yesterday by users, most finished yesterday. There's just like lots of interesting ways to look at this. Lists are really great. It really condenses different types of reading lists. This has so much potential for readathons and reading challenges, booktube challenges where it's like I'm going to try and read all of the books on this list. Pagebound list chooses my TBR. There's just so much fun to be had here. I also noticed that there was just a lot of diversity. It seemed like a really open and welcome place. There were some recommendations for books to read instead of Harry Potter, Queer All Year, a really great atmosphere overall as far as like what the lists were bringing. And then we can go to my personal library. Right now I'm only currently reading my own book, but it also has interesting ways of separating it. So I have my TBR. These are the books I'm most interested in reading. They are books that I would actually put on my TBR, but I love that it also has a different list for interested. These are books that I'm just kind of clicking. I haven't actually decided if I am wanting to read the book. Maybe just saw the cover, wanted to pin it in case I wanted to look into it later, had some sort of interest in it. It caught my attention, but it's not necessarily a hardcore on my TBR book. So these are the books I have put in that category. It was really fun and really easy to put things in this category. Of course, it also has books I've finished. You can decide what order you'd like to put these in. The time I read it is the one I will use the most often though. Did not finish. There's a section I can mark something as DNF. This is a game changer for me. This makes it so much more useful because I had to make my own tag list before. When I'm putting a book on a shelf, it will automatically just put it in this category of did not finish if I did not finish it. So if I click here, it gives me the options for whether I want to put it on my TBR, if I'm interested, if I'm reading it, if it's finished, if I DNF'd it, if I paused it, or if I just don't want it categorized whatsoever. I can click over here to say whether I own it or not. And then I have custom shelves that I've made, which has 2026 anticipated releases, 26 and 26 lists. Those are the 26 books I want to most read. All-time faves, dragons, knights, owned TBR, published, and romance vlog. That's how that's set up. The paused books, I do have some paused books right now, and it was so nice to hit pause on them. It didn't feel like I was DNFing them. I wasn't saying I was finished. I didn't forget about them. I just paused them. This is mostly to do with Libby because I order a lot of books from the library. I overstayed my welcome with Green Teeth, Emily Wilde's Compendium, Hemlock, and Adventures of Amina El Sarafi. I deliberately paused every Spiral of Fate by Tahara Mafi because I just wasn't as invested at the time. So it's just paused. You might have noticed that I have already created quite a log here. I have 535 books that I've finished. That is because I was able to just add from Goodreads, so I'll show you how to do that really quickly. If you go to account settings and import library, it will say the source for Goodreads. You can also choose Storygraph, and then it can actually give you directions. It'll go over to the import feature. It tells you to import. I recently did this, so I exported from Goodreads. Once the file was there and that file was done, I just went in, clicked this, and then it gave me all my books. I'm not doing it again because I don't want it to say I've double read every book that I've ever read. I'm also gonna talk about some new favorites because I have this all-time favorite list. I have just been putting my darlings in here every single time I get one where I just feel extra happy about it. So new favorites, I can go to books I recently read. This is a darling of mine. I did write it though, so just full disclosure, all-time favorite was a newsletter exclusive, the Yuletide debacle. It takes place before the events in the Solstice Court, my cozy political fantasy novel. Night and the Moth, I really loved and enjoyed that. That was in my top 10, but I'm not gonna put it in my all-time favorites. I don't think it's earned that yet. Aragon's not going in there. Atmosphere is going in one of my all-time favorites. Goddess of the River, that's so close. I need to think on that more. I need to simmer on that. Famous Last Words is a yes for me. Absolutely loved this one. And then Sorceress, oh, Hello, yes. All-time faves. Silverborn. A Sorceress Comes to Call, probably my new favorite T. Kingfisher book and one of my all-time favorites. These were all good. I loved these. Oh, this was 2024. Are you in my all-time favorites? You need to be. Okay, we're getting too far back. I was just gonna do 2025. I'll go ahead and stop there and come back up. You know what? I'll show you a fun feature. Hello, half stars. In Goodreads, it gave me the option of this, and it doesn't give you half-star capabilities. I had a lot of thoughts and feelings about Grady Hendrix's book. You can catch all of them on Books and Lala's channel during her Literally Dead Book Club live show. Me and other fellow booktubers talked about this book in depth, and I was not a fan. I'm giving this 2.5 stars. I'll go ahead and give it a 3 for enjoyment level. There were sometimes I was not enjoying myself at all. I think the quality, he did not do any research on witchcraft, and he added the witches in last minute, and it really showed. I thought it was really disrespectful representation of witchcraft. I did like a lot of the characters, so I'll give that a 3. And then the plot went wonky. It had a really good start, and then it went down. So I'm giving this a 2.5. You can also select emojis that best represent the book. The ones most used are then voted up. Let's see, magic, a book, like a grimoire is a heavy part of it. And then let's see what else happens. Oh, pregnancy. That about does it. So now it shows my proper representation of that. It's a really cool feature, and I really enjoy that I can do it. If you go to the actual page itself, you can see your star ratings, when you read it, what categories and places you put it in, much like Goodreads, a summary of the book when it was published, other languages and editions. The emojis up there are really cool. It's been useful throughout the site. It's very consistent, and I actually do think that these 3 emojis are perfect for the book. Obviously, star ratings, because there's only 166 because this is a new platform. If you join this website, your rating has a lot of weight. It can make a lot of difference. The spoilers here are immediately easy to detect. I won't click on this. Let's go ahead and go over to my 26 and 26 because you'll see, this is actually, I guess, a spoiler for my 26 and 26 if you haven't watched that video yet. If you'll see, I only have 19 books saved in my 26 and 26. So I still need 7 more books for this list. So I figured we could go through and do that together so I can show you how this platform kind of functions a little more in depth. So I can go over into my TBR and I can pick some books that I feel strongly about. The books where I go, yes, I actually really want to read that this year. I can immediately see one, and that is When the Moon Hatched. So right now it's just on my actual TBR. I go down here and it's already in Dragons. I'm going to put it in 26 and 26. Now it is added to my TBR. Another one, I'm just gonna scroll through and see. I think I already added We Love You Bunny, which is by Mona Awad. So that one is a definite. Oh, this one is going to be a strange one if you know me. I'm going to add Part of Your World to my 26 and 26. My friend Soleil has helped me kind of narrow down some books she thinks I might like within the romance genre for my romance vlog that I'm going to be doing. So you'll see it's already in my romance vlog. She's really sold me on Abby Jimenez. I feel like I'm really going to enjoy this book. I think it could be a romance I enjoy, which is the whole point of the vlog. It's not to tear apart romance. It's to try and find what my taste is with romance because I've dabbled here and there, but I really just kind of avert my attention from it because I just feel overwhelmed and I don't know where to begin. When she was describing Abby Jimenez's books, I felt really strongly that I might actually be a fan. I feel really hopeful about it. Also go to my owned TBR. I have a shelf called owned TBR, but you can also go to TBR, switch over to your owned books, and it will have the same books on that list. I could go either way. I'm going to go ahead and add Catabasis. A lot of people really enjoying it, some people not enjoying it, but I'm very intrigued. I really loved Babel by R.F. Kuang, so I'm going to go ahead and put that on my TBR. And then I also, on my own TBR, have Hamnet, and that has a movie coming out. Looking through here, these are books I do want to read. I'm not feeling the sparkle. I feel really good about these books. Hold on, let me go over to it. How many books do I have? I have 23 out of my 26. I feel really strongly about all of these books. I don't want to just throw books onto my list so that I can tell you at the end of the year that I didn't read certain books, because why would I if I wasn't feeling the same hype and anticipation as I do for all of these? These are 2026 intentionals, hopefuls, ones I really want to read. I think what I'm going to add here are books that I really feel hopeful about. Like, we're going into absolute desperation with Electo. This is by Tamsin Muir. There is no sign in sight, no end to this tunnel that I'm actually going to be getting Electo in 2026. I'm going to put it on my 2026 because that is a book I would drop anything to read. I absolutely love Gideon the Ninth. It's my favorite book of like all time. In the off chance that Electo is announced and like she just surprises us, it's going to be on my 26 and 26. I'm also going to put in that same vein of desperation, The Lord of Demons. Lord of Demons. There we go. Burning, number 3. This is part of the Burning trilogy. The Rage of Dragons and Fire of Vengeance are some of my all-time favorite books. We have been waiting a very long time for Lord of Demons. Also just a hope, a prayer, a frail chance that we might get this book. I'm going to have it on my list. I don't know why it says interested. I am definitely TBRing that. If that comes out, I will drop anything. And then finally, since we're on that same vein of just really counting on the authors to pull through, the Solstice Heir would love me to pull through because I'm supposed to have a book come out in June of 2026. Gonna hope that I do that. Gonna hope that comes out. I'll just go ahead and leave that there as a constant reminder to myself to try my darndest. June is optimistic, it's idealistic, but it's not impossible as of right now. I have a whole video dedicated to me doing my 2026 planning and publishing timeline, so if you're interested in that side of my channel, I'll go ahead and link that up above and down below. That is my 26 and 26 list. I will be having a video either come out before or after this where I talk about these books in depth, so don't worry if that was not interesting enough for you. The final thing I will show you within this is planning area. So as I said before, I am going to be reading romance books in 2026. I'd like the vlog to be posted in February. So I want enough time to try out a whole bunch of different romance. So in January is when I'm going to be reading those books. One that I know I'm going to read now because it's in my 26 and 26 is, what was it? Part of Your, oh, okay, it's an entire series. Part of Your World. I definitely am going to start with book 1, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to be reading that one now. I also know in October, I want to release a vampire vlog. I wanted to do this in 2025. It didn't happen for various planning reasons. I think that I want to read them in October though. So I'd read them in the beginning of October and post it around Halloween. So I want to read Carmilla and I want to read, was it So Thirsty? Yeah, So Thirsty. And there was another one. Oh, Lucy Undying. Those are 3 vampire books I know I want to read in October. Once I know what I'm reading in January and I kind of like solidify that TBR, I can put it in there. I can also click on yearly and it'll show me the books I plan on reading in 2026. So I can just put in, let's see, Hamnet. Put in Hamnet, and then when it's in monthly, it doesn't show up because we don't know where we're putting it yet, but it goes down into unscheduled for your plan year, and then I can just go over to yearly and see that, ah yes, I did want to read Hamnet. So I can add all my 26 and 26 here as well, which is just a cool planning feature. As far as the social aspects go, you can of course join quests, you can also join readathons. So there's the main feed where it shows different people's updates and what they're thinking of different books, people I'm following specifically to see what they are reading and doing. So then it goes into my books, and this isn't my post, but this is showing books I'm interested in and people specifically posting about them. So if I have marked a book in any way, it brings it up so that if anyone has anything in common with me, then they can see that. So you can definitely decide how much you want to socialize on this platform. And if you go over here, you have followers and following. So you can select your different icon characters. There's quite a few of them. I've noticed more added since I first came on here, so I think it's growing. They're also anti-AI, and their merch store has a lot of anti-AI merchandise. Just like overall feels like a very ethical space that I am really appreciative of. The site is free, but you can do donations to keep them up and running because they are a small business and they are female founded, indie, and anti-AI. Something I definitely want to support moving forward. And honestly, apart from the ethics of it, going back to the selfishness of just me needing a platform, this feels really good. I feel excited going on to this. I've been able to see my friends' updates instead of just getting random updates for very popular books all the time. I like the lists, I like the quests, I like every aspect of this, and it just feels good to not be on a platform that I absolutely loathe just for the sake of being on it because everyone else is. Everyone decides to always be on a platform because everyone's always on it, then that's how it'll always be. You have to actually leave the platform in order to enact change. You have to leave your comfort zone in order to make change happen. There was discomfort in leaving Goodreads because it's a platform I know. It's hard not to just pick it up first and search a book. I haven't had any issues searching for books on this. Some of the covers aren't as up to date, but the more people that come to the site, the more people that leave Goodreads and go to other sites, the more that these sites can grow and flourish, because Goodreads was once new also, and then people just went to it and they supported it and it got bigger and it never improved. If anything, it got worse. So I just don't want to be a part of that anymore. That's me quitting Goodreads. I will again be still rating and reviewing indie authors, so you might see me on there. If you're still on Goodreads, you will see me rating and reviewing indie authors exclusively. Otherwise, I will be rating and reviewing on this platform, as well as I'm still using Storygraph. It doesn't scratch the same selfish itch for me, but ethically, the way that it uses AI, it has an entire thing talking about the difference between generative AI and like mechanics AI. It's not using anything like what KU is doing with telling you what an entire book is about and what you're reading. Storygraph is also run by a woman of color. I feel good using either of these platforms without any other gouges to my moral standing. That's where I stand. That's what I'm doing in 2026. Would love to know your thoughts on any of this. I'm open to discussion as long as it's respectful. I'm not expecting everyone else to do this. I'm just making a point of saying that it's something I'm willing to do. I think it's absolutely fantastic that other people are willing to do it too. If you want me to add you, go ahead and just either add me on Pagebound. If you do use Pagebound or plan on using Pagebound, if you leave your username down below, I'd love to add you, see what you're up to, see what books you're reading. But whether you do or not, I hope you're enjoying the sun or more stars wherever you are, and until next time, bye!